Hey, Husker fans, welcome back to the Husker Big Red YouTube channel. I'm Chris Peterson, and joining me, as always, is Danny Gillette. And we're back here for a quick update, and we're going to talk about some potential flips in the 2026 recruiting class for Nebraska football. Right now, as it stands on July 10th, Nebraska's got 12 commitments in the 2026 class. So hopefully, there'll be, some more coming. There's a decision coming up this weekend from Calvin Thomas, but as we posted in another video, we don't necessarily see that going Nebraska's way. So there aren't really any other commitments coming at this point or any other crystal ball trends. So we thought it would be a good time to look at maybe some potential flips that could be coming up this fall. And one that's been on the list that's actually been predicted to flip, and I'm not sure if those predictions have changed, is Syracuse commitment Kamron Wilson, the edge out of Florida. Super talented. I think he had like 18 sacks last season. He is another guy who's a prototypical edge, about 240 pounds. He's a guy that, according to Tim Verges, a Nebraska insider, is still considering Nebraska. There's been talk of a possible visit this fall, maybe for a game. So it feels like Nebraska still has a chance to get in here, especially if Calvin Thomas doesn't go against their way. What do you think the chances are for the Huskers to pull off a flip here with Kamron Wilson?
I think the longer that this recruitment goes, the better it is for Nebraska. And Wilson would be a dynamic player for the defense. He had 118 total tackles last year, 17 sacks. He also had a fumble recovery, and he caused a fumble as well. So he is a ball hawk and a dynamic player. And he's visited Nebraska twice. He visited Nebraska on April 12th. And he also visited Nebraska on June 6th. So he is familiar with the program. He committed to Nebraska back in March. So I'm very interested to see where this goes. The fact that, he is still considering Nebraska is definitely a plus. And he would continue to add to the Florida pipeline that Nebraska has created as well. Philip Simpson, one of the assistant coaches, I believe he's the edge rusher coach, has been a major player in terms of Florida recruiting for the program. So this would be another nice get for Simpson and another nice get for Matt Rhule as they continue to dive into the state of Florida.
Yeah, Phil Simpson, outside linebackers coach, edge coach, whatever, however you want to say it. He is the primary recruiter here. Visited on June 6th, Kamron Wilson did, after committing to Syracuse in March. There's been some talk that he shut down his commitment. He has not done that. Nebraska is still very much in the mix for Kamron Wilson, and I really think that they're going to find a way to flip him. All the predictions are still projecting a flip. If you look at the On3 prediction machine, there's a 95% chance that Nebraska, will flip Kamron Wilson. He did visit Syracuse. He has been, even peer recruiting a little bit with another guy that we're going to talk about here in just a second. So there are some signs that I think Syracuse has made more headway since the Nebraska visit. It's not going to be easy, but I still think that there's a better than a 50-50 chance that Kamron Wilson ends up in the Nebraska 2026 class.
I agree. And one of the things that we've talked about before is Nebraska's struggles with recruiting the edge position. And I think Wilson would definitely be a guy that could, alleviate some of those struggles. He is a, good pass rusher, ball hawk, knows for the football. And, he would definitely be a guy that could get to the quarterback in short order.
So another flip target for Nebraska, Tedarius Hughes. We've talked about him on the show before, but another guy out of Miami, Florida, out of Northwestern high school down there, 6'2", 170 pounds, ranked 314th overall. He visited Nebraska June 17th, visited Syracuse on June 20th. He is a Florida State commitment. He visited there on June 13th as well. So he has just visited Florida State. But what's interesting is he wasn't the position coach there, which is it Evan Taylor? It's somebody, it's a Nebraska guy. Evan Cooper, that's right. So Evan Cooper, who is one of his primary recruiters, hasn't been on the staff there. So when he committed, and he's been committed for over a year now. He's been committed since July of 2024, which it's a long time. And if you notice, these kids that commit really early, sometimes they don't stick. And I don't think Hughes is going to stick with Florida State. So this would be a guy I would watch also, to get a visit. And Nebraska's had a ton of success with these Florida recruits. So if they could get Tedarius Hughes back on campus, maybe Phil Simpson can get two of the kids from the Sunshine State into the Nebraska 2026 class.
And it was really interesting, Hughes's visit time frame, because he visited, I believe, the day CJ Brona decommitted from the program. So Nebraska's had Hughes on their radar for the past couple of weeks now. And this is a guy that can get after the quarterback, and get after the ball carrier. He had 34 tackles last season in 10 games and 4 tackles for loss. And he's also a guy, 2 interceptions for 45 yards last season. He's not really a pass rusher, but he can come down and make a play. And he would definitely help solidify the secondary. We've talked before about some of the secondary talent already on the roster, and some of the guys that have not gone Nebraska's way, like CJ Brona, like Darian Jones, and getting someone like Hughes would definitely kind of alleviate that.
Another thing I like about Hughes, I think he could help Nebraska at cornerback or safety. I think he's got some versatility. He could maybe even be a nickel in a Malcolm Hartzog type role, and probably a guy who could come in and play right away, maybe in that Hartzog role next season. So that's probably something I would be selling to him as well if I was Nebraska. And we'll see if either of these guys get to Lincoln for a game this fall. I would think that would be a very encouraging sign for Nebraska football. So even though there's been a few kind of negative trends, the Huskers still have some irons in the fire, so keep an eye out on that. So we will wrap that up there, you guys. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, go Big Red.
Go Big Red.